But there's no need to panic. We enter this trade with conviction, and we will let it play out whether we win or lose. Makes this a good trade. It's gapped up, sold off in the morning, and then it made a reversal here. Had a resistance there, but it didn't sell off, kept an uptrend. And now, more immediately here, there's an even bigger uptrend. And there's some increase in volume. So possibly at 5.63. Go ahead. There we go, we are in. So we enter the stock because it gapped up, sold off, made a reversal, and then you notice here descending pattern, but right here made a reversal, and then you notice here the support, it's ascending. Not only that, but broke above the VWAP, tested the VWAP, held, and then it broke above the high of day. So now we are making new high of day, and also it's increasing in volume. So for this one, in case it wants to lose its steam and momentum, we have our stop loss here, 546 underneath the ascending support. It's also underneath the $0.50 mark, 550 by 4 cents, 546. So definitely our stop loss underneath the previous resistance. And if you notice, a lot of wicks, it's very choppy. So we'll just have to wait and see which direction it wants to go to. If it decides to do a false breakout, fail, then we will be stopped out. We'll see. Just giving it some space to breathe. There's pretty big ask at 76 there on the level 2. A lot of red here around the mid 60s. Just give it some space. Our take profit is 3 cents below the whole dollar mark of 6 at 5.97. Is trying to make new high of day. Alright, let's see. If we look at the 5, you're gonna notice we're gonna crash into a resistance there around the top of these candles. It also right there. So those lines there represent resistance from the pre-market, and this is basically where the stock began to turn to the downside. So you're not dancing around a lot there. If the sellers win and it decides to break below these supports, then basically it popped up and failed. The move would have failed and we would be stopped out. So nothing to worry about. If we break that 75, remember we have another resistance at 88. It's at least poking at it. There's 74 on the time and sales, getting closer. 73. There's 75. Is it gonna break? 74 keeps teasing us. There's a big seller at 76, so now there's 75. See how it makes these kind of whippy moves. Now the spread, it's getting kind of wider actually. It's 8 cents. It's an 8-cent horizontal spread, you can see there. So finally it broke 75. We're up to 77 now. So I should be able to hold 75. Back down to 71, 72, 73. This resistance, pretty tough resistance there. So considering that this stock is very choppy, you notice very whippy. It's like moving up and down really quickly. The spread is tightening now. It's at 2 cents a share. But for that reason, we are not raising our stop loss yet, because the whippiness, any of these bottoming tails could just come and stop us out prematurely. Therefore, we have to allow the stock to continue breathing. See, the spread is now 5 cents, 4 cents. So it's very, very, very whippy right now. Back down to 72. Are we being rejected there? We'll see. A lot of times, as soon as we get a rejection, there's a huge flush. So a huge flush could still happen at this point. Back there, trying to poke at that 75 again. That 75 and 76 has sizable sellers there. If we manage to break them again, that'll be great. Okay, some bid support at 65. It's pretty low. 71. Here we go again, trying to poke at that 75. 74, 73. Big seller there at 80. I want to see is this ask kind of start moving upwards. Well, it numbers, so we would know that the sellers are moving their orders up instead of down. So as they start moving their orders down, we know that they want to sell sooner than later. Still struggling there at that 75 mark. But there's no need to panic. We enter this trade with conviction, and we will let it play out whether we win or lose. $0.07 spread. So if it goes down here, it's gonna retest this support. If that support is strong, it should be able to hold. If the sellers win, breaks through the support, not to worry, our stop loss is right there. A lot of green on the time and sales there. It's great to see. Ooh, 35,000 share. Buyer at 69. Nice. But it's not holding, so back in the red. Hopefully we can hold this support there. I'm gonna kind of clear up the chart there. So this is what we know so far. We entered at 62. Now 62 is a support, has to hold it. Did manage to hold before, but it found resistance, heavy resistance here at around 75, and 76. Nice. There's a huge bid there at 67. A lot of green. Very nice. And we know that if we manage to break above this 75 area, we will also find a new support there at, a new resistance there at 588. So there we go. Breaking the 80s. Remember, we have a resistance at 88. So now we're gonna have to battle that 88. No, just broke right through it. Now, if we could hold that 88 at least, back down to 83, just giving it some space. Up to 89. 82 has bid support. The stock still pulled back down here to where there was that battle at 75. You can still retest, go back and retest. But there we go. We took our profit. And we know that there's going to be a resistance at around 6, the full dollar mark. There's a huge ask at 6. Show this one there. Damn, that thing struggled a lot. So we know at around 6 there's gonna be huge resistance, but if it breaks above 6, might get a even higher move for that short squeeze. But we're out of the trade. Nice little profit there. Yep, there's 6. Broke above 6. At this point, if you look at the 5-minute chart, it's really extended, so might get a pullback right now. Either down to that 90 or that 75. And if it continues to follow this ascending support, who knows how far up it will go. That's already a gamble though. Now we're just waiting to see. We're curious to see what happens here at the 75. Remember, the stock had struggled a lot there at the 75. So that was a huge resistance when we were in the trade. So we finally broke it. We took our profit. And now it's pulling back from the $6 mark, and now it's at the 75. We want to see if that 75 is a support. Nope, broke right below it. Now we want to see if this ascending support holds, which is around 60, 62, 63. If you look at the bid, I mean, it looks kind of flat. Then you look at the ask, it's kind of pumped up. And if you look at the 5-minute, this red candle in relation to this green one, it's basically swallowing up the entire progress it had made here with this green candle. Does that make sense? Let me know if it makes sense. So I'll just review the trade again. We entered this trade because the stock LMNL had made a huge move pre-market for over $1 move. Reached the resistance area here, battled it a lot, but then upon market open, which is you can see here, this gray area is pre-market, this black area is market. So as soon as the market opened, it sold off, right? So it's on a downtrend, obviously, right there. But then right here, no one knows that this was going to be the bottom, right? But right here, it made a reversal. You can see it clearly there. It's no longer making lower lows. The next pivot is actually, the next low pivot is actually higher than this one, right? So now the trend, we notice it's going up, right? Not only that, it's making even higher highs in relation to this pivot. We have this one here. So we added at 62 because we knew that there was if you look at market hours right here, the top of this candle, we broke above that candle to make new high of day. And then also, if you notice here, yeah, we made higher lows. However, right here, the stock began to act more parabolically upwards, and then there was an increase in volume. So when we added because the stock had made, not only it had gapped up, one, but also it made that reversal, two, that reversal right here, three, it had made a more higher parabolic move. Four, makes sense, the volume was increasing. Five, it broke above that high of day of 62, so we added right there for the break. And then yeah, we were in the trade. We knew that the stock had been very whippy and spready. At some point the spread was about 8 cents, and that's why we didn't raise our stop loss, because it's like a wild horse. Imagine a wild horse just kicking everywhere, right? If you get too close to that horse, it might kick you. So our stop loss, we kept it right where we had it in the very beginning. We didn't move it up for that reason, that whippiness. And I mean, good thing we did, because at some point we noticed that the stock did eventually go below our entry point. It had us red for like a few minutes right there. Had us red for a few minutes because it was struggling at the 75, and then eventually think about, how do we raise our stop loss to break even? We would have been taken out of the trade at break even. Sure, we would not lost any money, but I mean, break even is boring. So kept our stop loss right where we had it at first. I believe it was 546. And then as soon as the buyers noticed that it was holding at least relatively close to that 562 and holding that ascending support, boom, made a huge move, broke above that 75. A lot of sellers there, they were causing the headache here for us. And then we knew that there was based on pre-market, we knew that there was not only sellers at 575 but also at 588. So 588, there were sellers, but it broke right above it. If you notice here on the 1 minute, kind of gave us a little, hey, there's sellers there at 588, so it kind of gave us a whippy 1 minute candle there. But the buyers won. Eventually we took our profit here, 3 cents below the 6. Good thing we did, because remember, the whole dollars are usually used as support or resistance. In this instance, it was resistance. And yeah, it gave us a rejection, 7 cents above 6, and here we are now. Now, did sell off aggressively. If you look at the 5 minute candles, the 5 minute chart, this 5-minute candle swallowed up the entire progress it made here, and now it's there on the ascending support. It's at least holding it, but the way the volume decreased, we will see if not only holds but it makes a move up again. If not, we know it'll break right below it and sink. So good day, thanks for watching, and have a good one. Bye.